Oh man. Okay. Next topic, tax policy. Now this is a very cloudy issue with Obama. He was saying all through the campaign that he wants to restore fairness to the tax code, and what basically he wants to let the Bush tax cuts expire and top rate go to 39, and supposedly lower taxes for 95% of the people. I don't believe that. And of course, taxes would be raised in other places. That was part of his plan, as I understood it.
Well, it kind of goes along with what your quote was out of the program about the GDP being not the only important thing, and it's the participation in prosperity. In other words, the wealth redistribution business.
Yes, and the article which I sent you was it was referring to the Heritage Foundation coming out with their recent Index of Economic Freedom. They've been doing every year for the last 15 years, and the U.S. came in at number 6. It's an index of freedom that uses 10 different measures, including your tax rates and regulatory rates,
Right.
property rights, lots of measures.
It's that situation because when I started in the libertarian movement about 10 years ago, the United States was number 3 in that survey, and now we've flipped down to number 6, and it looks like we'll continue to slip with current administration and the trend in the rest of the world.
Yeah, the Ukraine and the Czech Republic and no, so I'm looking at the wrong list. Who's moved ahead of us? I guess probably Hong Kong and Singapore were ahead of us in the past, but now we have Ireland.
The top 5 are Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia. I was surprised at that one. Ireland and New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
Australia must have moved up because I didn't think they were that good before.
Yeah, well, I know that there's a lot of them that had those top 5 have some very much lower tax rates than we do, and less regulation, especially in Hong Kong.
Tax rates, keep in mind that survey measures the top tax rates. It doesn't measure the bottom tax rates. Tax rates vary across the income spectrum. What they do is they look at the top tax rates. In other words, what are the rich people paying? That is a measure of the Freedom Index. And whether you agree with that or not, it's economically sound because the people who are at the top part of the index are the ones that hire the people, create the jobs, start the businesses, and that's the important marginal rate of income as far as economic growth and this sort of thing. So that's the proper thing to measure, and Obama is pledged to hurt our rating in that area.
Yeah, it's going against the trends around the world. Even Europe is cutting the corporate tax rate, where they had religiously kept it very high for a lot of years.
What happened was Ireland cut the corporate tax rate, and that had such a dramatic effect on their economy and in producing prosperity and zipping ahead of the other countries in the European Union, and the per capita wealth in Ireland then exceeded that of a lot of the other countries, like France and Germany and places like that. I mean, Ireland was, the cripple of the bunch, and it went to the head of the class just with their economic improvements there. And so now the rest of the European unions look at that saying, oh, maybe we should do that too.
Yeah, it is an amazing story, and it shows that those policies work. It's undeniable. I'm still holding out a little hope that Obama might see an opportunity there, and not raise taxes and look at what's going on with this fiscal crisis. And
we're doomed. Well, he's surrounding himself with our guy that he is. They're totalitarian, redistributionists, and they don't care. They basically don't care about the GDP or the growth rate or anything like that. They want to redistribute the wealth. That is their priority, their value system.
Yeah, I agree. That's what they've been stating. Obama did say a good thing in the speech, but it is a speech. He was saying that the market is the primary engine of growth, and we got to keep it going. But it could be just words.
His policies will kill it. He will transfer economic activity from the consumer-driven market sector to the command economy-driven government sector. That's his plan to do that.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about this reinstatement of essentially the New Deal and massive government works infrastructure programs?
Well, when you worship false gods, you're going to get bad results. And one of the false gods that people worship is FDR's New Deal program. And the reason they do that is because it's presented in a very favorable light in the public school textbooks, and people from a very young age get the idea that FDR saved capitalism, which is exactly wrong. What he did was he screwed up the economy for about 12 years. So when you don't have a good basic sound foundation in history, repeat the errors of history.
That's true. And I'm kind of an economics nerd, and I see people echoing the Keynesian, Keynes was his main economic advisor for FDR's, and I'm hearing a lot of that same philosophy being echoed. Paul Krugman, who got a Nobel Prize or something for his Keynesian reiteration. And yeah, and Al Gore too. Yes.
Nobel Prize. They just trashed the Nobel Prize
Yeah.
completely with it.
I think Alfred Nobel is turning in his grave. I don't think he intended his prize to be given out for these kind of
No, I think he wants his money back by now.
Yeah. Well, if you have a government job and it's a construction job, well, first problem is it's unionized. Almost always. I think the contracts the government they're going to give out are going to require it. Then there's also that labor is being misdirected, or it's being misallocated and forced by the government to go someplace it would not naturally go, and it'll create a disruption and a shortage of those workers. As we try to rebuild our economy, it's going to be very expensive to do construction.
Exactly right. What you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of workers producing a lot of goods and services that the government wants, not anything that consumers want. And so the government's going to expand its power, and they're going to have a lot of showpieces to be proud of. And all the government people will think they're accomplishing something, but in the meantime, the consumers will have to do without. That's you and me, basically.
Yeah, and of course the money would be wasted. There's going to be a lot of inefficiency in allocating all that money, and many administrators, of course. Huge bureaucracy to get it done. So FDR during the depression, excuse me, built a lot of bridges, a lot of dams, this sort of thing. What Obama's going to do with his government-directed workers is he's going to he's going to have a lot of green energy initiatives. He's going to build a lot of windmills, a lot of solar power plants, and this sort of thing. He's got to put a lot of money into that area. That's not anything that consumers want. What they want is cheap, plentiful power. What Obama's going to give them is expensive, scarce power. yes.
It's going to have to be a big capital investment to do that. That's where the money's going to go.
It's just a waste to pour it into technologies that aren't really going to put that much power out.
Well, if you believe that carbon dioxide is killing the planet, then logically speaking, the government has to do that because consumers aren't going to go along with it willingly. It has to be forced.
Yes.
And that's the pivotal issue: is carbon dioxide bad for the planet, or is it not?
Now,